you know, everyone has to be, you know, and not be afraid, and not doubt their power. You know, when everyone wakes up sometimes insecure, then you have to remember that when you doubt your power, you give power to your doubts.
How concerned are you about the slippage on the back of COVID? Because what we've seen in the stats, the pay gap has widened again, even in some places like France, where there's been a huge commitment by the government and corporates to try and close the gap. How concerned are you about this slippage that we witnessed with the pandemic?
You know, it's funny. I've always been a feminist, and I thought we were really going in the right direction. And lately I've been worried, and that's why that I think that everyone has to be conscious. But at the end, I do believe that it's always women who find the solutions. I think it is women who will save the world. So it is in the you know, for everyone's benefit to let the women in and help to find a solution. The world is changing, society is changing, nothing will be the same, and there's a lot we cannot predict, and we need the strength of women to share what we are facing.
I want to ask you a little bit about how times have changed, because early back in the day, it may have seemed as though you were fighting the odds, creating a business, being a female entrepreneur. These days, we're hearing from bank CEOs, they want to provide financing opportunities for female entrepreneurs. There's a huge commitment there. Doors are open when it comes to supply chain. Businesses want to be supplied by female entrepreneurs, companies run by females. Are you sensing that that change is there when you go out into the business environment these days as a female entrepreneur?
Well, no, there's no question that, first of all, there are more entrepreneurs, period. And there are more women entrepreneurs because, you know, I mean, I never really worked for anybody else. I always worked for myself. So I was a woman entrepreneur. And it's good for women to be entrepreneur because they're used to it. They are entrepreneur at home. They manage everything. So I would think that that's a very, very, very encouraging thing.
I want to ask you about one of the big themes at the moment, that's sustainability.
Yes.
And we know fashion has always seized upon a trend. We were at the fast fashion, get a style onto the catwalk, and as cheap as possible, that type of business model has changed now to one around sustainability. How is that altering your business?
Well, I do think, you know, it's funny because when, for example, a DVF dress, if you go to a vintage shop, you will find one dress that maybe has had already 3 generations, and it's still around. And so that's sustainable. So, I mean, as far as my brand, it's all about woman before fashion. I have always put the woman first. So the clothes are utilitarian, pretty, beautiful, and they're supposed to resist. They should be your best friend in your closet, and you do not want to throw them out. And as people now, young people, some people don't want new things, you know. Well, you have lots of great DVF vintage because it doesn't go out of style really, and it's resistant. So I think it's important to make product that we will not throw away.
As you pick through the supply chain, is it automatic that sustainability is more expensive, that it causes inflation? Because, I mean, you've got the wastage you're trying to trim at the start in the factory, paying people more sustainable wages.
I think sustainability is also a frame of mind. We have to think, be aware. For years and years, you just throw, you don't think about it. So it is very important that the awareness. Once you're aware of it, you could say, okay, if there's wastage of fabric, what can I do with that fabric? What can we do with it? It's so much first an awareness. You have to be aware that we cannot ruin our planet, that we need every single thing. So we all have a responsibility. I personally, I always thought that I was very, you know, I don't lie, I don't steal. I mean, I'm a good person. I don't have many sins, but I do have a lot of ecological sins. And I think the more we are aware of that, the more we can do something about it.